The search continues for 6-year-old Khayelethu Magadla. The little boy fell down a manhole in Dlamini in Soweto just over a week ago while playing with his friends. This week on Monday, his family celebrated his 7th birthday without him as the search entered its 10th day. Reporter Lindokuhle Xulu is in Dlamini in Soweto and will give us the latest from the emergency rescue operators there who are really doing their best, even having used technology in the past week in the form of robots to try and locate Khayelethu. Good afternoon, Kabashe. What's the latest you can tell us about this ongoing search for the little boy?
Well, Praten, we are edging ever so closely towards that split chamber where authorities are saying if Khayelethu Magadla, the 6-year-old, is not stuck in the pipeline, a 13-kilometer stretch of a pipeline, then he should in fact be found at a split chamber. The split chamber is where the dirt is separated from the sewer. So that is where they are pinning their hopes that perhaps his body might be there should he have fallen there. I am speaking about a body, Praten, of course, because we do understand that at this stage, it's no longer a search and a rescue mission, it's a search and recovery mission, and that's exactly what's been happening. There was a bit of a hiccup in terms of moving swiftly towards this pipeline because yesterday we did show you that there had to be some excavation that needed to be done because some of these pipelines, they were about 25 meters high, and therefore authorities needed to dig around that area so that there'll be an ease of access for some of the apparatus that they are using, like the unmanned robot that has a 360-degree view of the pipeline, as well as the technicians that we are seeing continuing with this search. I'll move out of shot. My colleague Posilele will show you that there is that continuation of the pipeline. They've been able to move through the difficult parts, and in fact I should put this into perspective. We're around Klipspruit now, and what you are seeing is one of the manholes that is not an ordinary manhole. We do understand that at this stage there is a convergence of many pipes that are coming from many communities like Lindokuhle, all in Soweto. So what is currently happening now, they are basically just going to check there where these pipes are converging. There is a bit of a well when it comes to this particular area, so the water would be forming a circle to actually ensure that some of the gas that are collected from all of these pipes is now ventilated so that there are no explosions or any pressures like that these pipes would be feeling. So what is essentially happening, they are checking where the pipes are converging. What we do understand is that from here on there is one pipe that is leading towards that split chamber, so things should be a little bit easier today. We're expecting that they'll be finished with the 13-kilometer stretch that they've been checking in terms of some of these pipes, and therefore they'll be able to move swiftly towards the split chamber. The split chamber, we understand, is another difficult task that they'll need to be able to sort out because of the volumes of water that would be coming from all of these communities. What they essentially would then need to do is to actually check the split chamber at around 3 a.m. That is because there will be a less traffic or less volumes of water that will be moving towards the split chamber. So there's still a lot of work to be done, but according to EMS, they should be able to complete the 13-kilometer that they started with on the weekend. They're saying that today they will reach the split chamber, and that is when the real work will start at around 3 a.m. We are told that is when they'll really be looking at the final phase of this particular search. They are hoping that either from here towards the split chamber or at the split chamber they'll be able to find something, but if they don't, we are told that there will be some drastic measures that would need to be employed, including closing up the entire Soweto as far as this pipeline is concerned, to ensure that no water comes from here and that they basically flush out the entire sewer in these parts of Dlamini as well as Klipspruit to see if nothing emerges. But we are told that that will be made through an announcement. But for now, the work continues. Rescuers, you can see them, the technicians are on standby to go into some of these remaining manholes that are moving to the split chamber, but it's all in an effort to bring the 6-year-old back to his parents, who have been saying that it's quite difficult. It's 10 days into the search, and all of this is just giving them anxiety in terms of when will they see the body, at least of their son, to find some closure and be able to perform some of those ceremonies that would bring about closure for the family, including the funeral. That is the thinking of the family. But before that, they would need then to have a recovery of that body, which is the work that you are seeing on your screens continuing on a daily basis, 10 days into it, but nothing has been found yet.
You know, Lindokuhle, just to give our viewers a perspective, those who might not be familiar with Soweto, Klipspruit, where you are at the split chamber, as you are telling us now, and bringing us those live visuals of the ongoing search of little Khayelethu, is actually a bit far from Dlamini, the other township in Soweto, where the manhole to which he fell is located. So it's not just around the corner, which means the work of the rescue work that has been going on underground has taken kilometers and kilometers.
Kilometers, Prateni, as you rightfully say, but one of the things that seems to be a misunderstanding is that the 13-kilometer stretch that we speak about is through a pipeline, so it's not easy to navigate for these particular rescue practitioners. We do know that they also need some form of equipment to be able to breathe, external breathing equipment. So those are some of the things that are challenges that they continue to have, because they do not necessarily go in a manhole and then go as far as they can. They go in this particular manhole about 500 meters or a kilometer, then they come out and basically just assess some of the work that they've been able to do. If my colleague, in fact, would be able to show you, as you see some of the technicians going in there, on the other side there, just next to the main road, are some of the manholes that they need to emerge from. So it's a very difficult task. It's one that needs to be, approached with caution, because of the fact that they themselves need to, employ all of the safety precautions that they possibly can, but it's not just walking 13 kilometers and saying that the child is not there or there are no obstacles. It's a matter of cautiously and very slowly trying to assess some of these pipelines, and that is why it's taken this long. And you add the fact that they've had to try and dig around some of the other manholes that are too long for these officials to actually go inside, too long for technicians or even the unmanned boat that has cameras to be able to go inside. They've had to dig, they've had to reduce them up to a certain level before they are able to enter through those. So it just goes to show the level of work, the level of technicalities that these rescue practitioners are busy with. But at the end of the day, the positive thing is that today might be the day where they'll be able to edge ever so closely to the split chamber, where they'll be pinning their last hopes in terms of finding the body of the 6-year-old.
Thank you very much, Lindokuhle Xulu in Klipspruit in Soweto. I mean, it's painstaking work that has been undertaken over the last 10 days or so as they try to locate Khayelethu, and pinning their hopes that maybe where they are today could just provide some clues as to where the little boy might be. The family having already accepted that this is a search and recovery process, the likelihood of finding the 6-year-old alive at this stage is very remote, and the father telling us on eNCA a couple of days ago that all they want now is closure.